What inspires me the most is how this community really rallied together. When a community puts their mind to it, not just the church itself, but the community of Louisville, and through getting the word out and whatnot, anything can happen. I mean, literally, you can come together, and if we just come together with like-mindedness and a singular focus, anything can happen. And here, what happened was the life of this tiny little child was saved through the most extraordinary, impossible of circumstances. And to me, it's about a rush of hope. It's about lifting people up, lifting the human spirit up, and the human condition. I always love going into movies where if I feel good about life, if I feel good about my life after I come out 2 hours later, then that was an investment well worth it. And so those are the types of movies that I want to make. So we were really, in my opinion, blessed with the cast that we have that came together. I mean, Hillary and Alan and Nancy and Drew and all the others, I mean, came together. They're so perfect for the specific roles that they played. And what's wonderful is having a director that you completely align with. I mean, you know that the story and the vision that he's trying to create. And so at that point, it's like, okay, let's get along for the ride. And what can I do to support you and make sure that that vision comes to life? It's been a 3-decade journey with me and John Gunn. So I produced his first film, way back in 1999. And we've done 4 or 5 movies together. And so I trust him. I understand what kinds of stories he wants to make and what his vision is. And so he's such a talented screenwriter and a filmmaker and a director, and he's great in the edit. And we just know each other that well that I know how to come along and support. I love the types of movies and the types of stories that he wants to make. And he's an endless worker. He's like the Energizer Bunny. I mean, literally the guy I don't know when he sleeps. And so I love his work ethic. It's just super strong and solid. But his talent is certainly there, where he can just bring out the emotional, cathartic moments in a story and really make them shine and come to life. And this one, the true story of it all, has them all over the place. Hillary just brings a gravitas, a talent that you just love. In fact, when we first started talking about her, we weren't even sure if she would be totally interested, but I've loved her body of work. I mean, what's not to love about all the movies that she's done? They're just so, she has a way of really drawing you into a story as a film watcher, and keeping you there, like holding you there in a way that you really want to know. You're pulled in, and you really want to know what's going to happen. And so for me, it's a gift to be able to have her as a part of this cast, because she brings it's kind of this strength that Sharon has in real life that's shown on the page, and Hillary has that strength in her repertoire. Alan Richardson, what is not to love about him? I mean, he's the biggest surprise to me out of everybody, because he's, my only familiarity with him was watching the Amazon series Reacher, and so he plays this certain character, and when I first met him, I'm like, oh my goodness, he's like the most lovable big guy I've ever met. I mean, he's just got a heart of gold. He wants to give everything he receives away, and it comes across on screen where it's like, how do you not root for this guy? He's such a loving, caring, giving man, and to have those attributes in your own persona comes out so easily for him, and that's who Ed is. Tamala's a gift. I mean, she shows up and she does her thing and she nails it, and Rose is obviously, to me, is the heart and soul of this thing, and Tamala is such a great actress. I'm thrilled that she wanted to do it. Again, feel really blessed to have her. This whole cast is just so talented that we brought together, and what I love is that they're all equally passionate about the story. So they're not here just to, hey, I get to act in a movie, but they actually love the message behind this story, which is, if we just put our own selfish desires down, we can come together and we can rally and we can do extraordinary things. I think the message is if time is short, time is so limited while we're here on this earth. I mean, we realize that when we lose close ones, loved ones that are really close to us, And so the power of people coming together, we can do more together than we can do by ourselves in one single unit. And the more people that come together, I mean, if we hold hands, we can literally lift the entire world up. And so this is what this movie shows, is that if we die to ourselves and we put ourselves below the importance of other people in our life, that we can do extraordinary things and even heal people in their weakest moment of life and really lift them up. You know, the way John Gunn has just captured some of the moments where Sharon just doesn't want to give up. Even when he's like, you know, Ed fights, but then you sometimes see a little bit of a crack, but Sharon's right there. She's like, no, we're not going to give up in this moment. I know that you're facing impossible odds. And to be able to see Sharon as just sort of a shadow of who Ed, that void that Ed needs in his life, because he lost his wife, and there's Sharon, this angel out of nowhere. Like, it's like, what motivation does Sharon have to be able to do what she does? But one that is completely selfless, because she has no selfish motivation in her entire effort to be able to lift this family up in their most dire need, and to save the life of this young little girl. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful story. You know, we always think angels as something that's not attainable, right? Angels are heavenly, they're angelic. You know, we all kind of would love to have an angel by our side to kind of save us from ourselves in that moment of mistake and despair and all of those things that we kind of come across in our life, health issues, whatever it might be. Ordinary angels means that, you know, there's angels all around us and we're unaware of where they are. And if we just look for those moments where maybe if it's me, if I can be an angel to a person that's out there, then just to be able to bring it some humanity and to bring it that much closer so that we can attain it, so that we don't give up on the fact that you and I, all of us could be angels in our daily life when we wake up, you know, and look for something or someone to be able to impact in that day, in that moment. Well, I think this movie is going to inspire others just through the power of the story. So the power of Sharon's story in that moment and what she did to be able to overcome all odds, to be able to help somebody that really she wasn't expecting anything from. And so to be able to see that in that moment, I think is going to be inspiring for so many people. I mean, even for me, even though I'm producing the movie, I can't wait to see this movie in theaters, because I want to be able to experience that rush of hope of what Sharon does, what her story does, to be able to provide that inspiration for me in my life so that I might be able to impact other people. While you go to the movie theaters to totally be entertained, and so as a filmmaker, I'm completely cognizant of that. But if you want a story, I always love stories that just provide that extraordinary, that emotional, inspirational moment.